Hi, this is Summer with Summer's Tips and Stitches, and this is my Thursday video. I want to say it's February 7th. Here, let me look right here real quick. It is, yes, February 7th, and this is an early morning video. As you can see, I still have like my poofy morning face. School's canceled. I don't know why. I mean, they said bad weather, but to me, looking out my windows did not seem that bad. One thing is we personally don't have TV. Is that called broadcast TV? Also, even though we have it hooked up, we have this like little thing connected to a wire that's supposed to pick up like the local stations, like a little antenna type thing. It rarely works, so I don't get to see like the weather in the news every night. I have to look it up online. And if I have a couple busy days, I don't look it up. So I had no idea that this could happen today. But it's nice because now I have a chance to do a video before work, and then you won't have to wait a super long time for the video to be done. Also, Flynn's pretty pumped because I was going to send him to school after having a few days of him puking and being sick. I kept telling him last night, you're going to school tomorrow, you're going to school tomorrow. So this morning he does not have to go to school and he's happy. But anyway, let's get down to business, friends. The first thing I'm going to show you is some mail. I got this, I ordered this, so it's not too much of a surprise, but I was surprised it came so quickly. And I ordered this from Ella from NoCatchyName. Hi Summer, thank you so much for your order. I hope you love your new bags. Happy crafting, Ella. And I got this little Notions pouch. I mostly ordered this because I love llamas and alpacas. And obviously, who can't resist a project bag? And I was really impressed that they came with a set. Growing up, I don't know. I don't think my mom particularly sought out llamas, but then there also was a kid in our high school who lived just down the road from us on the other side of the highway. They had like a llama farm. And you know, llamas are flipping cute, right? So I got this little Notions bag. It is really nice. I've got to figure out how to put it in a zipper. And she must have put like interfacing in there because it's kind of thick. And then here is the drawstring llama bag. I do have plans for one of these bags aside from projects. And then she did a nice, I have got to learn how to sew because I have a whole stack of fabric. And it would just be nice to be able to make one of my own rather than spending money on one. But I just can't. So thank you for making this beautiful bag. I ordered it straight away. As soon as I saw it in her video, I zipped on over to Etsy. So this is kind of like an Etsy. I don't know what her Etsy name is. I can't assume it's No Catchy Name. I just went in one of the links under her video. So I will put a link up to her video. Heck, I might even try to copy the link from her video where she says she has her Etsy shop. She has a whole bunch more llamas she's putting up. Mickey Mouse, Minnie Mouse, Pokemon. I don't know how you say it. So yeah, check out those bags if you like project bags. And she's so far the only one that I've seen that has the set, the two bags. And then the other mail I received, and I didn't do an opening for you guys because other people have already opened it. I just thought I would talk about it in the video. As I joined Jimmy Bean's Wool, or Jimmy Wool, or whatever that name is. It's odd to me. And I got my little bag of little tiny skeins of yarn. Skeins of yarn. So this is the deal, folks. I've always said skein of yarn. But then I started hearing people, maybe more southern people in YouTube videos saying skeins. And I thought to myself, skein, hank, skeins. I thought, okay, maybe I've been saying it wrong my whole life. So I switched to skein. Well, apparently I've been informed by multiple people, so don't think you're the only ones, that I was originally saying it right and then I've switched to the wrong way. So I'm going to try my best to go back to saying skein. But I'm not overly impressed with these little skeins of yarn. I think I like the bigger ones. The bigger the better, the big multicolored cakes. But they're cute, don't get me wrong. And I just love this. This one's called Yara. I don't know what Yara means to know if this represents this color. But I'll tell you, I would have named it Galaxy or something. You're like, oh, I need to get a new job. This one is Corundum Ruby. Okay, it's kind of a pink, maybe a light ruby. But anyway, oh, and I really love this one too. Steenbrass. Steenbrass. Only one S at the end. I don't know if that affects the sound of the A. But anyway, these little thingies come together to make, where's my pattern card? Okay, I should have been better organized. But when I came down here to make this video, then I heard one of my kids running around up there, and I wanted to go up there and tell them that there was no school. Okay, and then it comes with this project card to make this poof. Do you see that small child sitting on it? I'm not necessarily thrilled with the poof. I probably will make it and bring it to my classroom. And I will tell you guys, I feel like I'm an intermediate pattern reader. There is a new stitch in here called a spike single crochet, SSC, not to be confused with the knit, that's an SSK. And this one does not involve putting anything back and forth. It's just you reach down and go to the row below to bring up. Well, I'm going to tell you what, they don't line up perfectly like this. And so I'm having a hard time lining up the spike with where the next crochet goes. And then my yarn, because you have to hold 2 strands together. Where does it say that? This is a reference back to my knit crate video the other day where it said hold yarn double or yarn held double. Here it says clearly use 2 strands of yarn held together. How simple was that? I knew exactly what to do. But anyway, with holding the 2 yarns together, you then hold one along your work and you pull the other one up, I think, because it tells you to use color A or use B. So you're not actually using the 2 yarns together. You're holding one down along your work and then pulling from the top. And when you're doing that and then going 1 row down, for some reason, I can't line up my stitches, and every round is coming off wrong, the wrong number. I pulled it out 3 times and started over. And then this last time, I just decided to fudge my numbers. Yep, that's exactly what I did. I pulled out a few stitches in the middle, and I added them so that that round came out to the right number. I'm also kind of having a hard time reading their pattern in regards to how they want you to repeat the pattern. Where they put the parentheses and how they want you to, how you do a little bit, then you repeat the parentheses. I'm having a hard time kind of like following it. Plus it's on these really small cards, and apparently I'm losing my vision because I can't hardly read it. Every time I go to pick it up, I'm like, So I'm going to ask my boss if I can enlarge this on the photocopier so that I can see it. This card is way too small for my eyes. And I might add that my eye doctor said my eyes are fine. He said I don't have any problem. And I'm like, well, I sure do. And he did say that, and this is the last time, it's not specifically in reference to this pattern. He did say sometimes things are just printed too small. And that's all there is to it. It's not anything to do with your eyes being bad. It's just some things are printed small. And because I'm wearing my glasses lately a lot more, I did buy a little set of readers to use for this kind of situation. But I'm not using those because I've been wearing glasses. So I'm going to settle and hope that my boss lets me enlarge this on the photocopy machine. But yeah, this is it. I'll hold up my little project if I can find it in here. Oh, here it is. Here it is. And it's just here. You just, like I said, you hold, well, maybe I should show it this way. You hold the one color under, and then you crochet with the other color, and it's making this little thing. And then this is one of those spike stitches that goes further down. Yeah, and then this is a regular, see that? Spike stitch, regular stitch, spike stitch. And I think for this round, it's supposed to be 3 spike stitches, a single crochet, 3 spike stitches. So yeah, that's what I'm making. I don't know. I also don't want to buy the severe amount of polyfill or whatever polyfill that you're supposed to put in there. But I also don't want to stuff it with a blanket. That's what it also says. It says you can stuff this with a blanket. Stuffing. You'll need something to stuff your poof. You can use whatever you like. Spare blankets or comforters work as well. I mean, pardon me. I'm sure a comforter could work, but doesn't that seem weird to just cut a comforter into a smaller piece and stuff it into a crochet? I don't know. I am fussy early in the morning. If you think I'm fussy sometimes regularly, listen to me. I'm fussing about everything right now. So this is this, and I do agree with Jane. If you're going to have a bag like this, you really should have a little handle. But it's cute enough. I'm going to do for sure the 3 months to finish the whole project. I don't know if I will continue. I heard Mary Maxim is way better, so I thought I'd give her a try versus Jimmy. Now, the final thing I wanted to talk about today is I'm making a Valentine's Day present for my husband. I am using the Premier Serenity Chunky, 109 yards per skein. It's going to be a long road, friends. And so I started these mittens for him because I just thought, you know what? I'm going to make you a giant pair of mittens. Why? Because I was making mittens for everyone. Oh. And so I made him a giant man-size mitten. Look at that. It's practically an oven mitt because my husband's very large. He's 6'4" and 290 pounds. Do you see that? So I made him a giant man mitt. Like my hand's down here. But anyway. And then and I love my husband dearly, but whenever I show him a project, he always has to tell me something to approve upon in my project. And this goes back to when I was painting wine glasses. Like if I painted something, he'd be like, oh, that'd look really good if you outlined it in white. Or have you thought about mixing this in with the paint to give it better coverage? He always does. He can never just say, oh, that looks great. Which is fine. That's the way he is. And so if I just want a compliment, I don't ask him. I ask somebody else. And if I am working on a project that I'm going to be selling for someone and I want to make sure is super, I ask him because he will always tell me something I need to do to improve it. So he wanted me to make a mitten that would then hang from a scarf for some reason, and that you would hang the scarf and the mittens would hang down from it. He thinks for drying purposes. So I kind of scoffed at him because he, like I said, he always wants to tell me something to do different, and he always thinks outside of the box. I am not an outside of the box thinker. Some of you may realize that because I rarely, if ever, create my own patterns. And it's the same thing with music. I pick up an instrument, I read somebody's music, I play it. I pick up a crochet hook, I make someone's pattern. That's just what I do. I can't even come up with my own color combos. I got to use the suggestions from the Karen Cakes. But my husband is great at thinking outside the box, coming up with new ideas. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to give his idea a shot, I'm going to make one, and then I'm going to give it to him for Valentine's Day. So I bought these little buttons at Joann's, not on sale, just bought them. And I'm going to sew them onto the mitten like this. So it kind of could look like a decoration. And then I did this scarf, which I think I'm going to end up frogging and make just a little more narrow by like 3 or 4 stitches. I made this with a bigger hook so that the single crochets would have a hole. Do you see that? And so that he could then put the button in the end of the scarf. And so then he can have his scarf hanging with mittens. Now personally, I think this is a good width for a man's scarf, because men don't wear them for decoration. You know, like my man, I guess I should say, there are some men that do decorate them bodies. So he could wear it like this under his coat. I think I'm going to leave it that way. Because I thought about making it a little more narrow, but I think this is good for him. Just goes on his chest, and then he'll keep his chest warm. And so I'm going to give him this for Valentine's Day. Just because he proposed to me on Valentine's Day, and I always like to give him a little bit of a gift. And my husband is not, like I said, he doesn't decorate himself. So he doesn't usually want fancy gifts. He wants useful, practical things. So I'm making him his mittens that button to the end of his scarf so that he can hang them and dry them. And then he's like, you should make a video about it, and everybody will love it, and they'll think it's such a great idea. I don't know. To me, it just seems like, why can't you just lay your mittens flat? Like, we have this big cubicle system that he put together, and the top row, you could just lay your mittens down there, and then hang your, I'm such a cranky pants, and then hang your scarf on the hooks. But guess what? If you want to keep them as a set, I guess buttoning it to them is a good idea. So anyway, that's what I'm doing. I'm doing that for him. And then I'll do a video so you guys can see what it looks like, I guess, if any of you are really interested in that. I did not use, I used the pattern from the Bernatch Soft and Chunky, or Chunky and Softy, or whatever. I used that same mitten pattern. And then I just did single crochets back and forth with a much larger hook, a K. No, a P and an M. N and a P. The biggest one, the purple Clover and More. Oh, you guys, I almost should refilm this, but I'm not going to. This one, the N and the P, so that the holes were bigger so that I could put a button through it, because I'm not about to make a buttonhole. So yeah, that is what I've got for this video. I got my Jimmy Bean, I got my mail from Ella, my crafty bags, and then I got I'm working on my yarn. The other thing I was going to say, and again, cranky pants, when I bought this yarn, I bought 2 skeins at Joann's, and then the other day on my lunch break, I had to go get a third. It's taken 3 skeins to make these mittens. Well, and I can't, oh, here. When I picked up the 3rd skein from Joann's, there was a line of like goo, like sticky goo on the outside of the skein. And to me, it kind of looked like it was the glue that maybe was used for the ball band or packaging or something. Here's a little fleck of it right here. I've had to pull these out. So when I went up to the register, because it was the only one left, I said, hey, do you see how it has this icky goo stuck to the side of it? I'm like, whenever I pick at it, to pick it off, it kind of like frays the yarn. She's like, yeah, I see that. She's like, I wonder where it came from. I said, well, I'm guessing it could be the glue from the ball band at the factory or something, like I just told you. Hoping to get some kind of a discount, because I've heard of folks getting discounts on a yarn because the ball band isn't on it. The yarn's perfectly good. Well, she looks at it and she's like, well, it's acrylic. You could wash it, and then if it doesn't come out, you could return it. I said, well, I don't really want to do that because I want to use it to make something to give to someone. And it was their last one. She's like, well, just a minute. And she looks up. She's like, well, we don't have any in the back. You could drive to Appleton to get some. And I'm like, I am not going to drive 20 minutes to Appleton to get 1 skein of yarn when there's one right here with a bunch of glue on it. All I want is for you to give me a discount. But I'm not, of course, I don't have the personality to ask. And even though I'm sounding sassy pants right here, when I was with her, I was like, oh, okay. So I was like, you know what? She's not going to give me a discount. She's not. And I didn't have on my phone a Joann's 40% off of 1 regular item coupon. I didn't have any of those on there for some reason. It must have just switched and I haven't got the new coupon set. All the coupons on there did not pertain to me buying 1 skein of yarn. So I was like, oh well. So I just paid full price and I walked out. And I was kind of disappointed. I must have that look of a non-confrontational person, even though I'm sounding all fierce down here. Because, like, nobody ever offers me, like, oh, let me just take 20% off that for you. Yeah, that's really an inconvenience that there's glue all over this yarn. And it's the only one we have. And it really does sound like an inconvenience to drive 20 minutes to go get a different one. Well, anyway, so what I did is I ended up crocheting with it. I picked it off as best I can. And it does kind of like hide in some of the stitches. You don't really see it, only like in 3 places. And then I'm going to wash and block it before I give it to him. And hopefully that takes care of the rest of the glue. But, I guess I shouldn't complain. I mean, I am getting the yarn. And if it does wash out, why did I need a discount? I don't know. And it's not like it was $100. It was like $3.99. So I guess, all right. Done complaining. Hopefully in my next video, I'll be in way better mood and I won't be such a giant cranky pants. Just a sec. So hopefully on Saturday, I'm in a much better mood. And, oh, the one other thing I was going to say, is this. During the week, I don't get to crochet at all, really. I'll get to do a little bit at night because I work till 5:30. I come home, we eat dinner, I finish up homework with the kids, bathe the youngest, hug and kiss, we go to bed. That's just pretty much how it is. So on the weekends, you're right. I am super lucky and blessed that my kids are of the age, for the most part, that they can tend to themselves. And I just sit and crochet straight through because somebody's like, wow, you really make a lot. And I do. I come home Friday from work, and then I got that like second wind. I don't know if any of you get that, where you're like, oh, I'm home and it's the weekend. And all of a sudden you're a little less tired. And I crochet because usually, like I said, I go to bed fairly early. And I crochet straight through to like maybe 9:30, 10. And then I wake up in the morning because Flynn gets up at 7, or the latest, he gets up at 7. And then I sit on the couch with him in the morning and I crochet while he's watching TV or playing on the Switch. And then I make breakfast and get, kids ready. And then I sit back down and crochet and watch YouTube. And then I make lunch and I clean up after lunch. And then I sit down and crochet. And then I make dinner and I sit down and crochet. I mean, that's really what I do all weekend. I go to church. Even when I take my daughter to tutoring, most of the time I sit and crochet while she's being tutored. I bring it with me wherever I go. So if we're going somewhere, even up to like Sturgeon Bay, I crochet all the way there, and sometimes at restaurants too. If I gotta sit for food and my kids get a color on a menu, I get a crochet. So yeah, I do a lot on the weekends. I just pump out the projects one after another. Oh, here's another one of those glue spots. Do you see that? Right there. So yeah, I am really blessed. And I also, the only thing my kids are signed up for are scouts. So we don't have a lot going on. We don't go, I'm not overcommitted, if you will. I go to work, my husband goes to work, we take our kids to scouts on Mondays and Thursdays. Sometimes they have a scouting event on Saturday, which I crochet at, because I bring my crochet with me. And yeah, that's why I get so much free time. Maybe as the kids get older and they start joining more sports teams and that, maybe I won't have as much time, but even then I'm going to bring my crochet with me to practices. But yes, that is that. So hopefully I can get this either loaded up before work or if I need to after work. And you should have this video by today, roughly 12:31. I need to go upstairs because my kids are definitely awake and they need to know that it's not a school day, that there's snow day. One of them did come down here. That's why I paused. And yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching and subscribing. Thanks for sharing my video. Please, I hope you endured my cranky pants video here. And you don't feel like, oh my God, I'm never going to watch that lady again. She's fussy. Well, anyway, until then, happy crafting. Bye.